What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh.
And we're back at it to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Louis A. did. He asks, since group thinking in the 40K universe makes something real, could the Imperium or Orcs just think something out of existence? Not quite. So, did we say the WAAAGH thing?
Yeah, For the
Okay.
Greater. Wow.
So the orcs can think like purple is sneaky, so it makes them sneakier. They can think that they have ammo, and they have ammo, kind of ish. But no, like they can't just think there's a banana in their hand and a banana appears in their hand. Same thing with the Imperium. If you're an Imperial person, you can't just think that there's a boogeyman in my house and the boogeyman shows up because that's your emotion or whatever. The way that it works is it has to be a huge collective, and that emotion in the warp manifests into something that they had no power over, kind of. It's a collective thing. So even if the Imperium decided to believe in the Emperor, or let's say that the belief in the Emperor and the Imperial Creed is just some Imperial governor, or like either Malcador the hero decided, if we focus all of our worship towards God Emperor, the God Emperor would be formed in the warp. Not necessarily. Something will be manifested in the warp, but it won't be what you want it. So they don't have as much control as you think, if that makes any sense.
I feel you, but it don't make sense.
Oh.
No, yeah, it makes sense. You kind of do, but you kind of don't.
And then the orc stuff is just like confusing because it's like biologically engineered into their bodies, not the same way as humans, where humans just believe. And then those beliefs do things in the warp that the humans have no power over. It just happens. Next question.
This one's by Josh Pratt. Are you Chris Pratt's brother? What would happen to a child of a knightly house if they were born with psychic powers? Would they be taken by the black ships, or would they simply be trained as a psyker? Or maybe their psychic powers be repressed and they would be a knight?
Right, because Imperial Knight families or Imperial Knight houses really hate psychic anything because of the whole feudal society being corrupted whenever chaos incursions would appear. And I think what would happen is that they would just try to get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if they're such a strong psyker, maybe the black ships would come for them, but then it'd be like a huge squabble. So most likely they'll just be repressed. They'll tell them not to don't make yourself known. And just, live your life as just a regular knight.
Which I don't think would do so well. If you guys watch the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, there's a character that suppresses his magical powers, and what happens is like he ends up blowing up at the end. Not literally, but like he creates this. What is it called? A Demogorgon? No, that's Stranger Things. But he creates like some like entity, and I feel like that's what would happen if a psyker was born and he was told to suppress his psychic abilities. At some point, he would blow up. Either he would become a gateway into the warp, or a demon would possess him, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
This one's by Godzilla B210. Say for a moment that a chaos cultist is looking to escape from chaos. They cannot return to normal human society, so do you think the Tau would take them in as a Guevesa? So, first of all, I don't think they can escape chaos. Once you've pledged your soul to chaos, that's it. There's no going back. You can't even leave in a body bag, because they'll claim your soul. So, for example, say if this did happen, yeah, I could see the Tau taking them in. Because they're still, regular humans. They can still, toss them into the front lines or something.
It would be one of those situations, though, like a gene stealer cult type of thing, where like the cultist doesn't show any signs of corruption, finds that the tower easily corruptible in other ways other than like psychically. Like they're corruptible in the sense of like, if we kill the ethereal, then we can do this other stuff. Or
maybe they're just gullible.
Or they're gullible. It would be really interesting to see a storyline where a chaos cultist infiltrates the Farside enclaves, finds out about the Dawnblade, understands that the Dawnblade is chaotic in nature, tries to get control of that blade, and creates a demonic incursion to fight Farsight for that blade, and then he becomes a some chaos spawn or something, or like a greater demon, because he like somehow sacrificed a bunch of the Farsight Enclave Tau. That'd be cool.
That's pretty interesting. That's too legit to quit.
Next question. Ooh.
Oh, or you got one?
Prince of Nothing. He asks, "What motto do you think we need next in 40K?"
Besides gal school.
What do you say for your Tau? Let's break it down that way.
A model. Well, I wouldn't. Okay, it is a model. I want them to have an actual model for the Onager gauntlet, because right now there's currently no model for it. So if you do equip it to your battle suits, you just gotta like pretend it's there, or like make it your own, or something like that.
I would really like to see some type of cavalry for the Skitarii, not the Iron
Striders.
Yeah, not the Iron Striders.
Dragoons.
Yeah, whatever they're called. Not those guys. I want to see something more mechanical and like four-limbed.
Like a robot horse.
Combined with humans.
Ooh.
So like...
It's a centaur.
Yeah, basically. So the Iron Strider, I think in the front, there's like a human who's like fused into the machine. And I think it's a servitor. It would be awesome to have servitors, but instead of on tracks, they're like bestial, and they have like limbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like bordering Dark Mechanicus type stuff.
But would it be like a dune crawler with somebody on it, or
No.
no?
It would like that creature would be on its own. Kind of like what are these guys called? The
Rust Stalkers.
Yeah, like the Rust Stalkers themselves. If you read the lore of the Rust Stalkers, they're mindless. Well, all Skitarii are mindless. But I'm saying like a four-limbed, mindless, like dog, but not a dog because he's a servitor, human, lobotomized creature. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I would do. Next question.
Brandon Hickman. Have you ever heard of the alternate history called the Dornian Heresy?
I heard about it, yeah. Didn't you make a 45 video on it?
I thought you did. Because isn't that with like Alexandros the Mad, or he's blind or something like that?
I remember him. I don't remember the Dornian Heresy, because Alexandra the Blind, it was an actual character that was created by like a fan. He won a contest and they created a chapter and him for.
So then the Dornian Heresy is the Horus Heresy, but instead of Horus, it's Dorn, right?
Maybe. So I guess we haven't heard it.
We'll get back to you.
Next question.
Cage Schultz. Do psychic blanks work against wall energy?
We talked about this a little bit. I don't know if I talked about it with you or we already talked about it now.
I think we talked about it off camera.
Okay, because I'm tired. So, no, not that I know of. Because, like...
wall energy is not warp energy, though, is it?
It's kind of like warp energy, but it comes from the hive mind, but not really the hive mind of the orcs. When a weird boy spits out his, like, galactic vomit on a blink, I'm pretty sure they're gonna burn. Because what happens is, it's like psychic things that make actual material things take some type of form. So it would be like spitting psychic vomit acid when in reality the weird boy is thinking that the molecules are turning into like acidic forms, and that still happens. So they're still getting burned, I would say.
That makes sense, yeah.
There's nothing in the lore that says that a blink was not hurt by a weird boy. So we could be wrong. Next question. I have one from Jorge Pantoja. We haven't heard from him in a while. What inspired you to start making For the Greater WAAAGH videos? Were our questions that good, or were there just too many to answer individually? So actually, the Greater WAAAGH was inspired by Mini Wargaming and their show Sit and Talks. That's really the only thing that I would watch from Mini Wargaming, because I couldn't invest 2 hours to watch a freaking battle report.
Sit and Talks are like 45 minutes long,
though. That's fine, though. Okay, so here's the thing. I paint while I watch videos. While I have How to Drink on, I'm painting. And that's what I was doing with like Mini Wargaming, and it was awesome because it would be a 45-minute long thing, and I could paint and I could just listen like a podcast. I didn't have to see it; I could just listen. Whereas their battle reports, they would like roll, and you have to see the roll. So like it's breaking the painting up by me looking at the screen, and that annoyed me. So I only watched Sit and Talks. And then he stopped doing Sit and Talks for a while. And I thought, like, we should do them. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Last question. What you got?
Now, this one's by Too Cool. So, why did the Emperor want to kill the Primarchs and the Space Marines?
Okay, so if you check out our 40 facts on the...
Emperor killing the Space Marines.
Well, no, Thunder Warriors.
The Thunder Warriors, yeah.
You'll learn that the Emperor's main goal is to have humanity rule humanity. They don't want Space Marines to become part of the government, which they already have, Gilliman. So ultimately, the Emperor he wanted to step away. He wanted the Imperium to be strong enough not to have to depend on the Space Marines, and the only way to do that is to completely get rid of the Space Marines.
Think of them as a tool. The Space Marines were just a tool of force to get the humans and the Imperium to be a strong power. Once that goal was accomplished, there'd be no need for them, basically. So, just discard them. Kind of like the Thunder Warriors. You need them to unify Terra, and after that, that was it.
Exactly. Those were the questions for today. Thank you for sending those questions our way. If you guys have more questions, comment down below. We also have a Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you guys. If you can't support us on there, we understand. Simply by liking, commenting, and sharing, it helps out the channel.
Don't forget to hit that little bear notification and put question in front of your question, because we get those questions first.
Bear. This was Gersh1.
Sound Alchemist, and we are out of here.